While IQ is a cognitive intelligence measurable through testing engaged using a standardized scale, EQ refers to the ability to navigate, understand and manage our own and others' emotions. It requires us to maneuver our way through complex interactions of knowledge and behavior and constantly adapt this understanding to new people, situations, and circumstances. Ultimately, emotional intelligence strengthens both our sense of empathy and self-awareness, which are integral to relationships of every kind, as well as to our overall happiness and success. It's considered by many to be a more valuable form of intelligence than IQ. Research has shown that those with a higher EQ tend to do better in business and other areas of life, even compared with those with a higher IQ. Most of us have to deal with difficult personalities at some point in our careers, whether they're gossipy coworkers, unmotivated slackers, or overbearing bosses. Improving your EQ is the best way to learn to confidently and professionally navigate any difficulties and opportunities that arise. Strong EQ is also widely regarded as an essential characteristic of a good leader and has been linked to greater job satisfaction. People with a high EQ display the following traits at work. Self-efficacy makes them more confident in their abilities to cope with the demands of their jobs and achieve targets and goals. Diligence, having control over their impulses and the desire to work hard. Emotional stability, which helps them withstand stress and manage emotions well. Empathy and the ability to combine reasoning and emotion. This also helps them establish healthy and productive working relationships. This includes being comfortable enough to let others know where their personal and professional boundaries are, how they expect to be treated, and showing others the same respect. Clear communication, being able to communicate effectively with their team, present their vision clearly, and listen to and incorporate feedback from colleagues. Research has shown that it's entirely possible to increase your EQ at work by adjusting your thinking and behavior. Try these techniques to boost your emotional intelligence. Work on self-awareness. Be mindful of your emotions throughout the day, taking time to feel each one fully and pinpointing what's contributing to it. Identify your strengths and weaknesses at work and factor these into your actions. Strive for balance. Find ways of dealing with work-related stress, whether it's a sweat-inducing workout, quiet time meditating, or a peaceful walk in the park. Self-motivate. Make a conscious effort to maintain a positive attitude and choose to feel optimistic. Focus on the things you enjoy about your job and work on improving your experience of the things you dislike. Practice empathy. In every interaction with coworkers, make an effort to see things from their perspective. Consider their circumstances and how each decision you make might affect them. When communicating, listen attentively, noting nonverbal cues, and respond thoughtfully rather than just reacting. It's no surprise that EQ plays a massive role in nurturing and maintaining personal relationships, whether they're romantic, friendly, or even familial. Strong empathy, self-awareness, and communication skills are all necessary for truly meaningful connections. Think back on a past argument you've had with a partner, a friend, or your moody teen. How could the situation have been handled differently for a better outcome? Perhaps there was a miscommunication, with one of you feeling unheard. Or maybe one of you lacked self-awareness and didn't realize you were behaving hurtfully. People with EQ are usually a highly effective communicator who actively listens to others. They check to make sure they've understood the other person's feelings accurately and take the time to ask for clarification. They respond patiently, thoughtfully, and encourage honest, open discussion, avoiding manipulation and one-upmanship. They understand that communication is a two-way street and put as much importance on what they're receiving as they do on what they're contributing. Emotionally intelligent communicators are also prepared to hear and consider bad news and criticism and to deal with difficult issues rather than allowing them to fester. They employ diplomacy and tact in handling conflict by bringing disagreements out into the open to be resolved logically but with compassion. Empathetic, and able to connect meaningfully with others on an emotional and truly personal level. This is partially due to a keen sense of observation and the ability to recognize how a person's feeling by analyzing their behavior through verbal and nonverbal expression. Self-aware, as they're able to understand how they feel and the reasons for those emotions. They don't unfairly blame others for their negative emotions and carefully consider the impact they want to have on people before acting. You can improve your interpersonal EQ by: learn to listen. Avoid talking while someone else is trying to get their point across, and don't interrupt them. Don't start forming your response until they've concluded, but listen to what they're telling you and note their body language. Once they've finished, Ask them if you've understood correctly before contributing to the discussion. Avoid exaggerated thinking. Try to stay away from extremes, like, he always, or, she never. Chances are if a person's behaving in a way you dislike, taking the right approach to addressing it will lead to a resolution without the need for conflict. Reframe your thinking and avoid starting from a negative perspective. For example, don't anticipate an argument. Let them know how you feel when they act that way, speaking honestly, calmly, and in a non-confrontational tone. Get in touch with your feelings. A good way to build self-awareness, especially in relationships, is by keeping a journal. Write down your interactions each day, describing what happened, what ensued, and how you felt about it. This will help you examine and better understand the way your emotions affected the situation and vice versa. Ask how you're doing. The best way of finding out how others perceive you and how you make them feel is by simply asking them. They can make you aware that you need to show more empathy or communicate your feelings more clearly. Last, but not least, EQ plays an important role in your relationship with yourself. People with a higher EQ are generally happier, more confident in themselves, and experience a better quality of life. This is because they're better able to connect with others. Being self-aware, they're mindful of their place in social settings and feel comfortable in most situations. Their highly developed sense of empathy allows them to feel more in touch with peers and makes conversing and socializing more emotionally meaningful. In control of their emotions, they're not only able to pinpoint the source of their emotions but have learned to master them without becoming overwhelmed. This also helps them adapt to situations with confidence and calmness, even in times of stress. Able to care for their mental and physical health, their awareness of their emotional state helps them make good decisions regarding their health and deal with stress appropriately. Tackling problems as they arise and actively aiming for resolution allows them to deal with issues before they become harmful. Let's improve your personal EQ by treating yourself with the same compassion and care you extend to others. Learn to recognize when you're feeling overwhelmed or in need of help, and reach out to those around you, trusting in their empathy. Self-awareness isn't only a tool to recognize how you treat others, it's also a way of gaining a deeper understanding of how you can improve your own well-being and happiness. While listening to others is an essential skill, so is learning to express your feelings in all situations. Pay close attention to what makes you genuinely happy, and put time and effort into those areas. A highly developed EQ will allow you to do the best you can for yourself. So, hope this helped to shed some light on boosting your emotional intelligence and helps you to foster better relationships in your work, with your friends, and with yourself. Consider subscribing and see you in the next video.